Thank you for joining our YouTube channel, Visa Refusal Analysis by Dr. Lionel Samayawardhena. Today I'm going to look at one specific USA visa refusal, which is 214B. This visa refusal reason 214B affects hundreds and hundreds of people who have applied in the African continent. And I have gathered like hundreds of these refusal applications and gone through and analyzed. And in all of them, and I am going to discuss with you my analysis of these refusal reasons. And in this context, I am giving you educational and also understanding reasons. I'm going to explain these things. If you need certain legal guidance, you must look for a proper lawyer from your region to understand what it is and how to overcome the situation. So in these letters, what the officer is saying commonly is that they are not quite convinced that you will return to your home country. So wherever you are applying, you need to have convincing reasons under this 214B category. Because this is a very important category, because according to the US law, there is a guilty of wanting you to stay inside USA when you are applying for a visitor visa or this kind of a visa to USA. So according to USA law, there is a presumption that you have a wanting to stay in USA, and there is no proof that you will be leaving USA when you are applying for these kind of visas. So remember, 214B is a very common reason that I have seen in hundreds of USA visa refusals, especially in the African continent countries. So if you are from one of those countries, this YouTube video will be very much useful for you. So first point that I mentioned here, you need to understand what is the US law in this regard. What is this immigration law concept in this regard? Immigration law concept, it says that you have a presumption, or they presume that you will be not having intentions to leave that country. So meaning that onus is that we have to disprove it. We have to disprove with facts. We have to disprove with figures. We have to disprove with explanations. But then at the interview, the officer will be looking at you, officer will be asking questions about this. Or otherwise that you need to have proof that how come that you would have stronger attachment to your home country. So then you are proving that you will be coming back to the country. So most of the people that who get affected from this kind of 214B scenario would be like younger people, because the reason is that they're for them very difficult to show some of the attachments. Or then also like some very old people that who does not have any particular occupation or some other aspects in that country. Or otherwise sometimes many times the students that who would have of course that very flaccid attachments here and there because of their status. And also like if you also like out of work and you are jobless or you don't work now, or you can't prove your work, and then you don't have proper documentation to prove that work. So likewise, there are many categories of people who could be affected with this 214B directly. So remember, if you fall into one of those categories that I mentioned, the older people or very young people, even students and even people that who doesn't have a lot of attachments to your home country because you don't have a job and etc., you could be vulnerable to this 214B category of rejection. So you need to be very careful. You need to analyze the facts and figures, and you need to figure out how you are going to prove it. So like I mentioned, that onus here is that you need to prove that you are coming back, because the law always presumes that you have an intention not to come back. So let's go through some of the details and the detailed analysis and what has happened to different people. Now I have one example here that I have gone through. That particular candidate has a job in the country, and I'm talking about a candidate from Nigeria, and that candidate was working as a business executive. And he has been working as a business executive for last 1 year. Age is now 29, but he has completed his business degree and etc. But the thing is that for a very long time, he did not have a proper job. And even the job now he is doing, his monthly income is quite low. So what are these factors going to tell about this 214B refusal reason? Because I think it is a red flag. Because the reason is that you graduated, and then for a long time you could not find a job. And because you probably showing that your stability is low. And then plus, you are also proving that you have secured a job recently, but that is also not a very stable job. So these factors could severely affect your visa refusal for USA. So remember, visa officer needs to know. Now, then if you are in that kind of category person, then how you are going to prove it? Of course, that you need to look at so many different aspects to understand how you can, being a younger person, not having a proper permanent job, how you're going to prove it. Yes, you need to look at so many different ways how to overcome this situation. So this is one of the examples that I have come across, and I told you. There's another example that I have written down here. Let me check that. So this also there was a candidate who is 35 years of age from Kenya, and this candidate has applied to go to USA because he has some cousin brothers that he want to visit, and he is unmarried and he has a very good permanent job in Kenya. He worked as an assistant bank manager. He has 7 to 8 years of experience in the same bank. So very strong position. And also he's getting a very good salary. He is also working hard. And he has some other elements which are also attachments to his home country. His visa got refused under 214B, because the main reason was that he is unmarried and his attachment to his own country is weaker. So then now you have a question okay, if I'm unmarried, I should get married sooner so then I can get a visa. No, that is not the case. So if you are unmarried, just be unmarried. That is perfectly fine. You need to understand how you overcome that situation. So you need to get proper guidance on that. Because there are other ways that you can also prove. Say for example, you have your mother and father and siblings. Or maybe there are some siblings dependent on you. Or your mother and father dependent. Or mother and father is quite older that they need your care. So there are so many different ways that you can prove this. It doesn't have to be this reason or that reason. So there are so many different reasons that you need to know. So what you need to do in that particular situation, in that particular example, the Kenyan example, he hasn't provided enough proof. Whereas that he has shown only the proof that he had the genuine facts. So how to overcome this 214B kind of a refusal? So there are so many ways that I have listed down a few of them here. Let me grab that paper. So some of these will include employment ties. So you have a strong employment that you can prove that you have a very strong desire to come back to that employment in your country. So this needs to be in your home country, because that employment ties is a very good reason that you need to come back. If the employment is also longer term and you are getting a good salary and then you're also establishing that employment. So another reason could be financial ties or family ties or even social and community ties. So financial ties, you already know that. We can discuss this thing in another YouTube video, because I'm going to explain this in details in another YouTube. So in financial ties, that you are proving that you have enough finances, and you may have some stocks, or you may have some deposits, you may have some bank account, so some funds in the bank. So various financial ties. So it could be your properties, and also family ties. So family ties is a very important factor that you can prove, because why that family ties is an important factor? Family is the main attachment for all of us. We all are attached to our families. So prove it. So you need to have proper proof to show that family ties. But then how you're going to prove it? Of course that there are a lot of documentation, a lot of ways that you need to prove it. And also social and community ties. So this is a very flaccid area that you can prove, social and community. So what is the social and community? Because the reason is that we are connected to our social and community. For example, one of the church father who got a visa refusal from Nigeria. And I found that he failed to show his social and community ties properly. So being a church father, he had so many social and community ties. He told me he only provided the main job, that main community service he has been doing. He has been connected to tons and tons of different community organizations. And daily basis, weekly basis, he was having meetings. He was going into the field. He was helping these villagers to alleviate their poverty problem. So various programs he was involved, but he could not show them. So his visa got refused under 214B category. So remember that. So there are so many different ways that you can prove to avoid this 214B visa refusal category to USA. If you have a 214B refusal visa, you can also get your opinion through us. You need to go to our Google form and fill out and send us. Then we can also analyze that in our next YouTube video, or we can also provide you personal consultation service if you wanted to get some knowledge about that. So remember, so if you have this US visa refusal under 214B, this is all about you need to prove you are coming back to your own home country. Visa is not going to look at it unless that you prove it. Otherwise, the law becomes supreme. There's a presumption you are not planning to return to your home country. I'll see you in next YouTube video.